Hey, welcome to SE Custom Designs. We're on part 3B, maybe we'll call it. And we are, let me make sure you can see what I'm saying here. We're gluing up our oak panel. This is the Ludus Orvo, the work sign, and we're making this, I have it on wide angle. I have a new phone, and hopefully it's going to work out for the better. Wide angle on this, there's two lenses on the phone, so that's pretty cool. So we're going to make this side panel. I have one glued up down there, we'll show you in a bit. But I'm just going to go over some of the things that we just take for granted as woodworkers. If you're a new woodworker, I think you'll appreciate this. If you're a seasoned woodworker, you can go ahead and skip this episode. This is SE Custom Designs. So thanks for coming to my shop. We're finally back in the wood shop. Yay! Thank you, Jesus. And Baruch Hashem, we are back in the wood shop and working, and so there we go. So we planed these pieces of oak, and it's quite thin at this point. And we're just going to go ahead and share some tips. These are called Bench Dog, from Bench Dog. They're biscuits, cookies, they call them. And basically they allow you to put your pieces of wood, or whatever it is you're working on, aloft, which means that you can possibly get under it if you need to get under it, or for sanding, whatever, and you're not marring the bottom part of your wood. So there you go. Some tips that I have for you is when you're working in your wood shop, you want to have your clamps like this, very, very close proximity to where your table is. Okay. Let's see here. Because it's just very convenient. Convenient for cleaning up, putting them back into service. Most of my work is done in this area. And so there you go. You're going to want to have plenty of clamps. When I went to glue up the first ones, I needed 2 more clamps, and I thought I was all set. So, plenty of clamps. Because these units are so thin, the oak, I planed them down because I didn't want them thick on the side, just the design. I am going to use parts of the project to help keep it plain together. Because when you're clamping, because it's so thin, it's tending to bend one way or the other. So it was kind of cupping. And so that's what this is going to be all about. All right, so, let me take you off the stand here. By the way, isn't that a beautiful stand? If you don't have a glue bot, you want to get one of these. The biggest advantage, I'm hungry and I'm saying things backwards, is you don't have to turn it upside down and have kinetic energy pull that glue down. You can squeeze and it goes up the side. Isn't that nice? Have copious amounts of glue ready to go. Running out of glue in the middle of a project is just not fun. I even date my things. August 30th, 2018 is when I bought that. So I just filled this up, by the way. You're going to want to have a straight edge. That's going to allow you to make sure that when you bring your wood together, that it's flat. That wasn't the case for this one. You can see that I have 4 pieces of strong oak pulling this together. When I first put this, clamped this up, it was going like this because it's so thin. So these are just some of the tips that if you're a newbie, that you might appreciate. So we got all our clamps. Oh, you want a condenser? That's just in case you need to knock them this way or that way together. Trust me, that's going to help you out too. All right, let's go for it. and I try to keep the conversation going here. Very often, when I'm doing videos, I want to make sure that I have enough conversation going on. So I've been doing woodworking. I started woodworking in Israel, in Eretz Israel. I learned how to speak Hebrew there, and lived there 6 years. I traveled to China. Went into China 6 times. What a beautiful country China is. I've been to Russia, all across Europe. I was actually in London when Lady Diana, Prince Charles, was getting married. 1 week before. And so I got to experience KFC in England. I hope it's changed by now. I felt like the chicken that they used was on a diet. It was, I think the colonel would have been quite upset and not approve. No offense. The English should stick to their curry and their fish. Boy, first time I had fish. Hopefully I'm not offending somebody right now. Just know I like to kid. I had my first pub experience, and cider, so on and so forth. My first pie, meat pie. Oh, that was delish. I stayed in Chesham, I believe it was. And the dear old lady I stayed with, Mrs. Gerald, has passed away. And her son Roy lives there. Alright, so I like to put more glue than less. Some things that I want to say is when you're clamping up, don't squeeze all the glue out. Clamps are strong, and it's pretty much anti-productive to squeeze all your glue where you just put it. That may sound like obvious, but it's just very important. All right, so first thing we're going to do is set them in place. Okay. Take our little condenser, a little tapper, tap it down. And the first thing I noticed was that the wood, see if you can see this. Sorry that I kicked it. This here is not flush. So you're going to take your condenser and you're going to flush it. Much harder to do that by hand, if not impossible. Okay, so I'm going to get whatever glue I can now, and then I'm going to start clamping it up. All right. And then I will again, you don't want to squeeze too hard. It's just a mistake. Squeeze too hard. That's enough. So you see that glue coming out. Hopefully I'm not in the way. Get your straight edge. It's actually not bad. I'm still going to put a couple of boards under there. I'm going to squeeze it. Oh! Opa! I'm sure if you've been gluing things up for a while, you've got some funny stories where you had to do your video, if you do videos. I got like 570 or so. You had to do them over and then over again and then over again because you name it, it can go wrong. I'm not just being the guy who's being negative, it's just that's what happens. And so there you go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take this board here and clamp it up. Do everything I can to make sure this guy stays flat. Okay, he doesn't have a pad on him, so I'm not going to use that. All right, squeeze him together. And this guy, I don't want to go squeezing too hard, because I still have to, still want to put one more clamp on in the middle to pull him as much as I can. All right, make sure you center the pads. Okay. Loosen him a little bit. Oh, sorry. Loosen him a little bit. Make sure we're good. Check it again. We're doing okay. I tell you, the last one was like. So now we'll go ahead and tighten them up. Put one more on. Just want to make sure I got plenty of even pressure. All right. All right. Now let's look. See, I see some more glue coming up there. If you have no experience with gluing up, just know you will regret not having cleaned that glue up as soon as possible. Nice thing is the glue doesn't set quick. They have glues like that. I'm going to go ahead and put him down here on the ground, and I'll show you the other panel. All right. Drop my cookie. Alrighty. Alright, so here's this one, and here's this one. Alright, so our panels are dried up. Technically and glued up, I meant to say. I really need to get a bite to eat. Not talking very smart here. It could be as dry in 3 hours. But I'm going to let it sit probably for 24 hours. I just want it to absolutely be dry and good. All right? Okay, thanks for coming into my shop. Next thing I have to do is think about the next part of the plan for the glass table. Mind you, some of the stock that put you this way so you can see. Sign's almost as tall as I am. And so yeah, there's the panels we're making now. To make this shape here, I'm going to use, actually for the second time making a table, I will be using this jig here. This is tremendous for setting the whatever shape it is that you need, and those knobs will lock together, right? And you can make custom curves and this type of thing. All right. Even if it's just to trace it out, remove it, and then know that you have that shape. Or you can keep that in place. You can see that the jig has the very strong piece of metal in there that's flexible. You can ride a router right up against that, like this. So many things you can do with that. I bought that specifically. You know, look up the episode where I made a cherry table out of, it was like a dining room table, drop leaf. And I didn't even have enough room with the kerf of a blade to mess up. It was a very challenging project for me. It was the first table I ever made, actually. I made other tables, but that was pretty cool. So here you are in my shop. Thank you for having patience with me. Hopefully I'm not yakking more than I should. I have some folks telling me you talk too much. I'm not offended. I know I talk a lot. It's okay. But like I said, I think sometimes in the yakking you can pick up on some things. I get around some folks and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. And that was worth 3 hours as far as I'm concerned if I learned something. I don't know if I talk specifically about the precision triangle, but just a real quick mention. If you don't have one of these are special orders, by the way. It's like if you went to woodpeckers.com or wherever it is that I had ordered this thing, it was special order. When I was in Secaucus, New Jersey, they were there and they were taking special orders. So if you try to order it now, you can't. So unless there is a big enough demand. So that's how they roll there. And this is made in the U.S. Actually, it's in Ohio. Of domestic and German materials. It's a laser cut. The accuracy, I don't remember what the accuracy is. It's very, very accurate. And they even make cases for them. I'm like, well, I'm a woodworker. I think I'll make my own case. But that being said, I just added some wood blocks in here so I could lock it into its cardboard. Because I don't want to drop it or have some kind of accident with it. But it's 18 inches of square. And the bottom lip comes off. High precision screws are in there. You can take them out. That way you can throw that guy right up against the fence of your table saw, for example, for squaring against, and doing whatever you got to do on whatever tool you got there. All right. I'm going to let you go. Thanks for coming into my shop. Give a thumbs up, thumbs down, tell us why. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Enjoy our videos. Just, if you don't mind, go through. There's lots of subjects that we go over, lots of tools. Take care. Thanks for coming now. Look forward to the future episodes.